Welcome, welcome. My name is Trish. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to do another world event reading today and take a look at some of the chaos that's going on around the world, all of these uprisings and protests. I will go over some of the protests that's been going on, but it seems to be there's a lot of tension escalating among the people. People are rising. So, what's the energy behind why all of the people are starting to, a lot more people than normal are starting to stand? Now, what's the reason for it? Do we see this de-escalating? Do we see this escalating? So, in a predictive way, is it going to get worse before it gets better, or is it just going to fizzle out? So, there are some of the questions that I'm going to ask. I'm going to take a look at the energy behind it. Let you know what's going on, but then take a look at the predictive energy around it as well. So I will read also the prediction deck for this one as well, for the last spread. So let's get into the reading. I'll be using my governance oracle, my immortal cycle for the validations, and I'll also be using my predictions oracle. So let's get into this reading. First question I'm going to ask is looking at the energy of this tension uprising among the people. First of all, I'm just going to run through some of the things that are taking place around the world currently at the beginning of. So we've got mass mobilizations going on around the world. Under the back, draw the line, there's thousands of coordinated actions are taking place worldwide, calling for climate justice and a shift away from fossil fuels. There's issues going on with Indigenous leaders from the Amazon and Pacific sparked this wave. There's now spans to like cities like New York, Berlin, Nairobi, and Tokyo. So yeah, chaos everywhere. We're seeing it here in Australia as well. People are starting to uprise here in Australia. We've got political crackdowns in Washington, D.C. President Trump ordered this dismantling of the 44-year-old White House peace vigil, a symbol of anti-nuclear protests. Critics say it's a suppression of free speech and Zionism. Now, there is issues around free speech happening as well in UK and Australia, but also other places around the world as well. Localised uprising in Jerusalem. Families of hostages are protesting near the Prime Minister's residence, demanding an end to the war and the release of the captives. Now we've got in Australia, there was a March for Australia just recently in the last couple of weeks. Coming up, there's another march on the Sydney Harbour to protest anti-corruption. It's planned to walk across the Sydney Harbour Bridge, but the police have sought to block it via a court order. There's counter-protests going on in Australia as well about multicultural communities, and anti-racist groups as well rallied in the response here. There's been a Bondi Beach tension here in Australia. The Jewish groups gathered in response to a pro-Palestine paddle out protest, highlighting deep divisions over Middle East politics. We've got this Middle East protesting going on as well, and we've also got the Marching for Australia as well. So there's a bit going on here in Australia. There's a lot going on in the UK. UK, I think, ramp it up to the next level. They've got pro-Palestine action rallies. Nearly 900 people were arrested in London for supporting the banned group Palestine Action. Protests include priests, war veterans, and Holocaust descendants. There's also an anti-immigration protest taking place around the UK, ongoing far-right demonstrations, and it's not just far-right, I have to say. It's middle, in the middle grounds as well. They're starting to rise up here as well, but they like to play off far right, far left in the media. So I'd say these demonstrations are taking place across cities like Liverpool, Manchester, and London. Sparked by the arrest of an asylum seeker, these protests have led to violent clashes and police injuries. Rising tensions, the UK fear a repeat of the 2024 Southport riots. Concerns about misinformation and far-right mobilisation. So very tense in the UK at the moment. We have protests and uprising going on in the United States. Anti-Trump, there's Labor right and federal overreach. Labor Day uprising, over 1,000 workers Workers over billionaires rallies across 50 states. We've got Chicago protests. Thousands demonstrated against the deployment of National Guard troops and Trump's threats of federal takeover. We've got US Open controversy. Organisers asked broadcasters not to show anti-Trump protests during the tennis final. Okay, so I've just given a broad range of some of the protests that have been that have been going on around the world, and I've shown it's going on both sides. They like to play one side against the other. It's really a push for division. It's all about division and pushing one side against the other because together united, you'll never be divided. I think I'm not sure how that chant goes, but it's about you can have more control over the masses, like the elites, if they have people divided. So it's really about playing left against right in all countries all over the world. So it's really amping up. The energy here is amping up, but I feel like there's something going on energetically in the world that the people are starting to want to be heard and to make a stand for change. So they want to see change. So people are starting to want to have their voices heard. Now, the way this is played out in the mainstream will be different to what the people are standing for on any side. What they're standing for will be corrupted by the narrative that wants to be portrayed with this division. So whatever narrative they want to push they're open to do that. They can play it any way they like. But it's the fact that there's energy around people around the world all at the same time starting to uprise and stand up. I just find that very interesting. So let's pull a card just for the spread of the energy, of the collective energy around the world, and why the people are wanting to make a stand. And then we'll go from there. I don't think I could have manually pulled out a better spread for this question than what the cards have decided to pop out for themselves. So as you see, I am transparent. I let you see the shuffling, so the cards just flick everywhere. I shuffle loosely, so the cards jump, so Spirit can just pop out whatever cards they want. And I don't think I could have put together a story better than what they've put out themselves. So first of all, first card, controlled speech. So one of the big issues that's going on in the world is controlling speech. The crackdowns on social media that's coming around the world, firing off one country at a time. So it starts in UK. It's UK get hit very hard. People being arrested for certain Twitter posts or X posts that they put up. But controlled speech is a very important issue when it comes to the people wanting to stand up. So I've pulled a spread just on the energy of why people are starting to uprise. People are starting to become annoyed and wanting to have their voices heard. So first card flicking out is the controlled speech. So wanting to really, it's important for people to make a stand over things like that. Controlled speech, freedom of speech. Now, sitting next to borders and deportation. So it's very interesting that around the world, a lot of the protests I know in the UK and Australia is about the numbers of immigration. So it's not immigration itself. People, I know in Australia, we don't have a problem with immigrations. We're a country built on multiculturalism, but it's the issue of how many when we don't have the infrastructure here to support more people coming in, but the type as well, being that we need skilled tradespeople coming in and not just random people. So yeah, it's the type of immigration that's coming in and the number, not the fact that there's immigration. So the borders and deportation. So this is a major issue. It's a major concern of why the people are standing up. And I just love these cards. I just love how I couldn't have picked that better myself. And it's like the cards they're on it. It shows me straight up, just like the last reading I just done, when they're pulling out information that is accurate to the scenario of what's going on, then in the first couple of cards, then it makes me confident to read the rest of the cards, knowing that the cards have something to say that's very relevant to this situation. So let's get into what they're trying to say. Sitting in, briefed, and in command. We're talking about our leaders. We're talking about our leaders around the world, the people that are briefed and in command of their countries. People just want them to be true to their word. That's why they are annoyed at the disappointing results. The people are just over it. They're over the way the countries are being managed, the economic challenges that we're all facing as people, how difficult things have become for all of us. And we're all over the economic challenges and the way the countries are being run. So it's disappointing results from the people that are briefed and in command, and want them to be true to their word, to deliver on the promises that they make when they are in election campaigns. Really just be genuine and have the country's interests at heart. So sitting side by side, briefed and in command, people just want them to be true to the word. Yes, the answer is yes. This is why the people are concerned. It's the underlying energy behind the protests and the sudden uprising. We always have small protests going on around the world. There's always something people are uprising, but all of a sudden it's just so much of it. There's so many of them. So it's the people have had enough. They're sick of the disappointing results on how their countries are being managed. They're sick of the economic challenges. They want change. We want change from the trusted advisors. We want to be able to trust the people that we put in to lead our countries. They're disappointed results sitting side by side, sitting next to the people that we put into trusted positions. There's disappointing results, the way they're managing the country, and everybody has had enough. Now, in the background, hidden here, I'm seeing deals are being made. They're using power of persuasion to make deals in the background related to these two issues here. So these are the main issues that I can see of the tension that's rising within the people. And of course, these ones down the bottom as well, the challenges, the economic challenges. Conceding defeat, I didn't read that card, but conceding defeat, raising a white flag, isn't that when you get to a point where, okay, I've had enough? It's like a breaking point. It feels like a breaking point to me. Now, I know white flag means peace. It means, okay, I concede defeat, I surrender, that kind of stuff. But I'm feeling the energy around here is breaking point, really, for things like controlled speech, borders, deportation, economic challenges around the world. But interesting how these cards have come out this way. Like I said, I couldn't have pulled that better myself if I tried. Deal made, power of persuasion. Now, this is I always like to pull a little dirt. I always like to see what's going on in the background that we're not made aware of. Over here, I'm seeing deal being made, power of persuasion. So people in influence, briefed and in command, the trusted advisors are using their power of persuasion to make deals in the background. But it's not always for the good of the people, and that's why the people are becoming concerned. Now, over here, we've got obligations. We really just want them to uphold their obligations, really. So that's why the disruption. Now, protests are a form of disruption. They are when people stand up and rebels. This is a cosmic rebel. So it's really all about revolution and rebellion and standing up for the rights of the small person. So disrupting the status quo. And it's really interesting that it falls next to the obligations, because we just want them to do their obligations, meet the obligations that they set out, that we put them in their positions to do. And because they're not, the people are becoming disruptive. They're becoming rebellious. They want revolution. So interesting. It's like, yeah, I couldn't have picked it better myself. So there's still unresolved issues I'm seeing here. Patience is needed to resolve these issues. So that's the thing. So all these issues, the controlled speech, the borders, deportation, immigration, economic challenges, the way the countries are being managed, the disappointing results that we're all feeling, the economic challenges that we're all going through, the struggles, the day-to-day struggles. We will need patience to turn this around. They're unresolved at the moment. They're not getting better. I'm about to go into the predictive reading side now to see if it is going to get better. Are we going to, this energy that's on the table right now, is that going to improve? Are we going to start seeing them abide by their obligations, the things that they promises they made, the things that we put them into trusted positions. Are we going to see those changes? Is things going to get worse, or are things going to get swept under the rug? So that's where I'm coming up into next. But it is saying patience. The kind of mess we're in at the moment will take a very long time to resolve. So let's get into the predictive side of this reading now. Welcome back. First of all, on the table it says no, downgrade. Now, my questions here going into this was, will things get worse? Will they escalate? Will they de-escalate? It was like a whole bunch of questions. Will we get what we want? Will it be swept under the rug kind of energy? Now we've got the no. The last question was, will we get what we want? No, but then no's also sitting next to downgrade. So maybe not downgrading yet, because there's so many people. So there's still more tension to come. It's still going to escalate a little bit more. Predictively, this is a predictive reading, so it's saying there's still going to, okay, I'm getting a lot of information coming in here. It's saying there's still more to come. Tension is going to escalate. It's more of a heightened energy. More people will stand and rise, but there is a planned outcome for this. So there's a planned outcome for people that are rising, people that are standing up. There's an outcome. They've got something in the works or planned for when it starts to get more heightened tension. There's a reason here. There's a plan for this. Downgrade a sinking ship. So downgraded a sinking ship. I'm coming back to that one because I just want to. I'm drawn over here to fear and terrorism. They're making the whole situation, turning it into a terror situation. So people are fearful of revolting. People are fearful of standing up. So they're trying to sink this ship. They're trying to, where there's so many people, they downgrade the problem. So they've got a plan on their side. So, and what I mean by their side is the power structure here, the ones we've put into rulership here. They've got a plan of attack for the people so they won't stand up. Now, whether that's with the help of the media, whether that is they're trying to find ways to actually downgrade the tension that's going on here and stop the amount of people that are standing up before it escalates. I do see it escalating. I see more people standing up first, but there is a plan for this as an outcome that's going to happen here. Now, maybe the people, here we go, this line here, I'm seeing that people want an outcome out of this. So this, I'm feeling this is UK, could be other countries as well, but I'm feeling like the people here are wanting an outcome, and that outcome they want is political shift. So it could be more than just one country here. It's the energy. They're going to keep more people uprise, get upset, are disappointed in the results, not happy with the economic challenges we're facing, not happy with the situations in that last spread. So more people are being affected. Now, tension will escalate, but the people, because it says the people, want an outcome here, and the outcome they want is political shift. They want change. Now, sitting over here, downgrade, side by side, I like to read up and down side by side, and where cards are placed near each other. So downgraded situation or a sinking a ship. They're trying to downgrade. They're trying to sink the ship. They're trying to not let it escalate any further, but the people want action. The people want outcome. They want political shift. Over here, I see part of this downgrading over on this side. I'm part of the planned outcome here of the downgrading section. To sink this ship that seems to be taking on a life of its own around the world and spreading the energy, the collective energy is what I'm feeling. They use the media to promote fear and terrorism. Then people are too scared to rise. It downgrades the uprisings because they've got something else to worry about, something else to be fearful about. Now, that could be something completely unrelated, or they could be turning the actual images and pictures we're seeing into something that's a lot more fear-based than what it really is. So people are scared to go and take action. So I'm seeing that on the table, but I'm also seeing something going on, an outcome that's planned to take the distraction, that takes the attention away from this, the way people are feeling. So when you put people in fear mode, in that survival mode, where they're worried about, I know in this situation it's because of the economic living. It's because of your freedom of speech. It's because of borders and deportation. I'm reading the cards that were on that last spread. Those kind of things are kind of survival mode for people, and that is, they are rising because of that survival mode energy. But they want to turn that around and give it something else that's a distraction, so people won't. They're in that survival mode in a different way. Fear and terrorism. So they turn the whole thing, the rising people, all this chaos in the background. Both of these are chaos cards. This is a war-torn country. This is, and I'm just showing you the images here. It's showing me they're making the protests, or they're making these uprisings look very unsafe, war-torn. Lots of people, lots of chaos, lots of drama, terrorism, fear. It's like they're making it look very difficult, so that people won't get involved in it. They want to stay clear of the danger. So they go into survival mode. They're going to fear mode. Oh, I better stay far away from that. So that's kind of the energy. That's one play of it. Another play is a complete distraction altogether. Now here I see a well-known passing. This is predictive reading, well-known passing. And it has come up in the September predictions as well. They're saying a well-known passing for September. Interesting, and I'm placed that on this side of the cards, which is really interesting. That's where that's been placed. Yes, again, we've got that yes card again for the second time. Staying put, rulership handover. Okay, so people calling for rulership handover, others are saying no, stay put. So the people that's been briefed and in command want to stay put, briefed in command, but people calling for a political shift or a rulership handover. So that's really interesting. Coercion and manipulation there involved. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. It's just a nice quick little reading just to show the energy that's going on at the moment, the collective energy. Do I see it rising? I see this, it's tense, but I see them switching the energy through media to show that it's more harmful and unsafe than what it really is, to try and downgrade some of that actively going out and rising. So they're wanting to downgrade that situation. Doesn't mean the people are not going to be, people are still disappointed. They're still disappointed with the results and the things that are going on. But by turning the narrative around and making it look unsafe, looking like it's just not a place you want to be, then that's one way of making the whole thing stand down. So I'm going to leave that reading there. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next reading.